Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite. Gonna try to not be a miserable bitch in this one. Uh, I am sorry. I'm sorry about the last. Guys, I tried really hard, and I did not try hard enough. But yeah, so we're gonna get his other endings. Right now, we're about to get the sweet end. Don't pursue the matter. Wait. Oh, okay, that's just red skip. Sorry. Anyway, most demons lack kindness. They wouldn't lend a helping hand without demanding something in return. That meant sacrificed something important to come here. Also, he could find me. Ellen. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have all skip on. That's the first time I recorded the best end, I had all skip on. So. Okay, so and then he was talking to the voices. Your deceit won't sway me. I trust her completely. Ellen's voice echoed as he shouted into the void. Some unseen presence seemed to taunt him. No matter what I said, he didn't seem to hear. The jack-o'-lantern wasn't present after all. I made a deal. I'll ensure we return to the surface. Alan continued climbing the steps with that firm resolve. We continued climbing up the steps little by little. Will we ever reach the top? The repetitiveness of our surroundings played tricks on my mind. The repetitiveness of this game. Not this part, but I mean, like, the demons can't have Did you know that demons can't have children like humans can? And we're lonely and having sex is just pointless if you're not procreating? I'm not over the saltiness of the whole thing, okay? Making me feel like we were trapped in a loop. Yeah, I felt like that way most of this round. Well, okay, in the very beginning, and then at the end. The middle, actually, we got out of the loop and it was great. How long had we been here? With every step, my legs threatened to give way. Despite the fatigue, I trudged on. I really just hope this chapter doesn't go on, for 3 years like the other one did. Initially, I counted each step, but after about 1,000, I lost count. This is pretty much the same at the moment. The journey seemed endless, the distance too vast, especially when he couldn't see or hear me. But every journey, no matter how long, must come to an end. I finally saw the light on the surface. It's the surface! Seeing that light, I felt an overwhelming joy and raced past Alan up the steps. I went through the gate and turned around. Alan, we're back! Spacey! For the first time, Alan responded to my voice. Yeah, and you ran in front of him so he doesn't have to look back and see you, because he doesn't have to look back at all now. See? Smart, actually. He looked up at me, relieved. Thank goodness. You really weren't following me the whole time. He smiled and reached out his hand to me. The climb had been long and treacherous, but we had finally reached the surface. Alan, thank you for saving me. I owe you my life. Yeah, Satan kept his promise. Alan? I had come back to life, but I slowly realized there was something wrong with Alan. His face was laced with joy and sorrow. Upon closer inspection, I noticed he hadn't passed through the gates. He was still standing on the very last step. Alan, what's wrong? I can't go to that side. Okay, this is a bad end, not a sweet end. How dare you? I thought it was going to be okay, we don't battle the gods, but he just loses his voice and we just leave him that way and that kind of sucks, but whatever. Huh? His smile persisted while I looked at him, confused. He lowered the hand that couldn't reach me. This sounds like a bad end, not a sweet end. I felt his warmth dissipating and dreaded what came next. It seemed as if this would be the last time we would see each other. Wait, Ellen, what do you mean you can't come to this side? The price to save you must be paid. You'll be fine. Just stay there. Alan took one step back. Before I could chase after him, the gates between us slammed shut. And we're supposedly get a CG of this one. When the gates vanished, I didn't know what to do. All I could hear was the sounds of the waves. What did he mean? What did he mean by the price he paid to save me? What did he mean when he said he couldn't come to this side? I sat down where I stood and put my hands on the ground. I'd arrived back in the human realm alive and well, but Alan wasn't there. I couldn't sense his presence anywhere. Huh? I tried to use my demonic powers to find him, but I still couldn't sense him anywhere. There was no trace of him in the human realm or in hell either. The last thing I saw was Alan's smile. He was smiling as if to tell me that I'd be all right. But he was missing. When he mentioned the price he paid, my heart was torn in two. Could it be that he sacrificed himself to save me? Again, not a sweet end. It's a sweet thing that he did, but it's awful. It's a bad end. Resurrecting the dead was against the rules of the world. If Alan couldn't offer the song of a lyre as Orpheus did, what else did he have to give? Could it be that Satan had demanded Alan's soul in exchange for my life? Did Alan sign the pact even knowing he would disappear? I already knew that was the kind of man he was. I have to go look for him. It was no use sitting around. Nothing would change if I just sat here. I couldn't give up yet. I refused to accept that he had sacrificed his life for mine. I hope that if they're going to do a thing, they do a time jump and not like drag this out for like 20 minutes type of a thing. So I started to look for him. I chased after any trace of that melancholic smile. Alan had always thought of me first, always sacrificing himself for me. I believed in my heart that he still existed somewhere, so I wandered the world, relentless in my search for him. Alan, I wouldn't accept that he was truly gone. I was terrible at giving up. Please, come back to me. I still had so much I wanted to say to you. Unless he went through the gates and was reincarnated, and we're going to find him reincarnated. It was said that human life was born from the depths of the sea. I remembered reading an encyclopedia as a child and being captivated by the ocean. Such thoughts were truly nostalgic. It was only for 20 years, but when I reincarnated as a human, Alan had always protected me. Whenever I was near water, demons would attempt to reach me, but Alan would fend them off. Now the roles were reversed. I'd be the one to protect him this time. Are you going to explain? And so I watched over him again today. Okay, I don't like how they just don't explain. Like, obviously he was probably reborn. But they should have fucking said that? Like, can I try that one next? Yeah, but be careful, don't get hurt, okay? Oh, that's his mother. Yes, but be careful, don't get hurt, okay? He's probably a child. Over a decade had passed since that day. I was brought back to life after Sylvie's attack. When I returned to hell, I learned that Alan was truly dead. I was told that he paid the ultimate price to rescue me, his life. I pleaded to Satan to resurrect him, offering my own powers, but he declared it impossible. I even sought the help of Pluto, but it was no use. I wandered the underworld and prayed relentlessly. How many years had passed? Okay, at least they're explaining it now. One day I crossed paths with Lady Proserpina, in the underworld. She assured me there was no need for me to mourn any longer. And a few days later, a human-bearing Alan's soul was birthed in the human realm. I followed his scent and found the boy that bore the soul of my beloved. He resided in a small home with pristine walls and a vibrant red roof, surrounded by daphne blooms. Laughter echoed daily from within. It became my mission to protect him from harm and keep other demons away from him. That simple goal brought me happiness. I desired nothing else beside this. It's not really sweet. It's kind of a melancholy end, and I don't particularly like it. I mean, it is kind of sweet, but it's also sad, so I don't know if I love that. But then he discovered my hiding spot amidst the daphne blooms. I found you. I was hiding in the bushes when Alan found me. He plucked a flower and offered it to me. Oh, is he supposed to be? He kind of looks like a teenager. I'm just reading it in his normal voice. Hello, miss. Would you like a flower? He kind of still looks like Alan. That's so funny. You can see me? Humans shouldn't have been able to see demons. His parents couldn't see me, so why? I thought I kept myself hidden. Aw, this is the little CG. It's kind of cute. I can see you. You're always hiding, so I really wanted to meet and talk. Balancing on his tiptoes, he adorned my hair with the flower and smiled. Unless he's supposed to be a child. I can't tell. He looks kind of like a teenager. This habit was so nostalgic that it made me want to cry. Why? How was he able to see me? Although I wished to remain hidden, a part of me yearned for him to acknowledge my presence. I wasn't prepared for this revelation. I didn't realize I still had these hopeful feelings. The demon Alan Melville was dead. My paired angel was gone forever. Yet here was this child, possessing Alan's soul, smiling tenderly at me. But he would never remember our past. The rules of reincarnation dictated that all memories of past lives would be erased. Please, I didn't want to have hope. I was about to cry, but he smiled again. I've always dreamed of you ever since I was small. You dream of me? Yeah, to dream of you crying. Every time I had that dream, I wanted to meet you so much. I wished to grow up as soon as possible. That's why I'm glad we finally met. I'm happy I'm old enough to touch you now. He was much younger than I was, but he patted my head with the same smile that Alan made when he tried to spoil me. I think I've been looking for you my entire life. This is actually, okay, it's kind of painful, but it's also kind of adorable because it's like, he doesn't remember, but he remembers. Like, his memories are gone, but his soul fucking remembers, and you're like, it hurts. It's so pretty. Okay, maybe that's why it's a sweet end. I've always felt there was a place I had to return to, and there was someone I had to meet. But I didn't know her face or her voice. I just knew she was sad, so I kept searching. When I saw you, I knew instantly. You were the one I was searching for. I shook my head, trying to hold back tears. He wasn't Alan. He was a human, a different person, but his name's Alan, apparently. I couldn't allow myself to give in. I couldn't let my selfish desire ruin someone's life. Well, then again, his name might not be, and we're just thinking of him as Alan, but whatever. I'm not that person. I'm a big bad demon. Demon? Yes. Haven't you read about it in books? Demons are very bad people. I remembered how Alan once told me that he was a bad demon. At that time, I was a human. He maintained his distance so I would find happiness. Thinking this, I echoed the words he once used. So you shouldn't listen to a demon, understand? I don't. Because your face looks so kind. Whenever I was about to trip, you were always there to secretly help. You noticed? Yeah. That's why it's no use trying to push me away. But I will be with you. So please don't cry. I wasn't crying, but those gentle words felt so cruel that I almost started to. But I can't. I'm a demon. No one besides you can see me. Even so, I want to be with you. He's like, people have married weirder shit, so whatever. My invisible demon wife, and people are like, okay. It's better than that guy that fucks his car. But I don't age. If we stay together, it will be hard for you. I hate it more to leave you alone. His smile carried the same tender gaze as he brushed his fingers through my hair. The scent of daphne blooms lingered in the air. He smiled from a height I wasn't accustomed to. I'll be with you, so please don't look so sad anymore. One of the petals fell from the daphne he had placed in my hair. The significance of the daphne was eternity, immortality, sweet memories, and unrequited love. It would be fine, I thought. It would only be temporary. It was just one moment in his life. Once he matured, he would understand. Humans and demons age differently. One day we'd have to part ways, since a demon like me wouldn't be allowed to take him away. He was human, after all. How many times had he wished for my human-like happiness? Now it was my turn. I prayed that he receive all the happiness in the world. Thank you. You're a kind boy. I want you to know that I'm serious. Yeah, I know. You sure? He looked a bit upset since I was treating him like a child. Once he matured, he'd find happiness as a human. When that time came, I would wish that for him. And when his soul would be reborn again, I'd find him. I'd find him every time, for the rest of eternity. No matter how many times I would never falter. Wherever he was, I would always ensure his happiness. That's not really a sweet end, though, to me. I mean, it's sweet, but it's also fucking sad and depressing, so I'm not really sure if that should be considered a sweet end. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I might actually accept the sweet and spicy end with the goddamn kids that I hate more than this. I was like, maybe the sweet end, it'll be like, we don't have kids, it'll be great. And I'm like, no, but this one hurts a little, so I think I'd rather have to deal with kids. I'd rather have the kids foisted on me. That's the thing I never thought I'd say. Save file 2, this is the spicy end. Or the minty bath bomb. Let's use this minty one. I've heard it gives a cooling sensation even in hot water, so I want to try it out.
Interesting. I have some mint growing in our garden. If you like it, maybe we can make our own.
Okay, it'll be our original homemade bath bomb. We can give one to Clarice. Do you think she'd like it? Spicy.
Maybe she'd use it with RB. Although the idea of RB in a bath is a bit funny.
You got that right. Maybe RB will actually like it. You know, in Japan, the capybaras enjoy hot springs. We continued to chat about our close friend as I handed the minty bath bomb to Alan.
Let's check the label.
Okay, so it's the same thing he said last time. Okay. All right. That is the only thing that makes this different. Like, was this the one that skipping to the next choice? Yes. Okay. I was like, I don't remember which one was which. We don't pass through the gate. Yes. I will endure it. Get away from the damn gate. So this is all the stuff that we've done. And then we pursue the matter when it comes up. Pursue the matter. Okay, spicy choice. So... And then that's the lady. And then spicy. Forgive all, love all. Okay.
I trust her. Your tricks won't work on me.
Alan yelled into the void. Maybe the spicy one is him just losing his voice. That doesn't seem like it should be spicy, but... He must have been hearing a voice trying to deceive him. A voice I couldn't hear. No matter what I said, he couldn't hear me. After all, Jack-o'-lantern wasn't here to facilitate our conversation. Okay, forward. Alan, don't worry. I'm right behind you.
I believe she's there. I trust her.
That's right. Stay focused. Don't turn around.
That's right. No need to turn back.
Alan shouldn't have been able to hear my voice, but it felt like we were communicating. Little by little, we moved up the stairs together. We climbed for what felt like days and months, each of us placing our utmost trust in the other. The surface is so far away. Our surroundings were unchanging, so I worried we'd never reach the surface. Felt like we were climbing the stairs endlessly. How many days had we been here? With each ascending step, I almost tripped and fell. I forced my faltering legs to continue moving. First, I was counting my steps, but by the time I reached 1,000, I stopped counting. Okay, it's the same thing that we've read 3 times now. The climb felt endless, especially without being able to talk to each other or reassure him that I was okay, yet anything with a beginning also has an end. At last, I saw a light up ahead. It was the gate leading to the surface. Okay.
It's the surface!
Alan's face illuminated with hope when he realized the end was in sight. I sensed the tension leaving his body. Alan, don't turn around, okay? This is also very similar. It almost seemed like he was about to turn around, so I pushed him with all my might. That's the same as the sweet and spicy. Stay focused! Don't turn around! Though my hands couldn't touch him, he seemed to sense my warning and tensed up again.
Oh, it's the final moment. And this is when I have to be careful.
That's the spirit! Resisting the urge to sprint, Alan approached the exit cautiously, taking 1 step at a time. I tried to match his pace. 3 steps to go, then 2, finally the last one. Okay, this is all very similar to the sweet and spicy end. Okay. We made it! We passed through the gate of the underworld and emerged in the human realm. Alan and I had made it out together. Alan!
Spacey, I'm so relieved.
I feel like the sweet, bitter end should have been the one that we just got that was the sweet end. That was pretty bitter. It wasn't very sweet, so I'm really concerned about the sweet, bitter end that's after this one. I embraced Alan, and he wrapped his arms around me in return, but just a moment later he grimaced in pain. Alan clutched one eye, his face contorted with agony. There was obviously something wrong. Alan, what's wrong? Oh, did he give up an eye? That's fine. He's got another one. They'll just get a patch.
It's nothing.
It's clearly not nothing. Alan held his hand over his eye and gritted his teeth. I could see his body convulsing in pain. I didn't know what to do. Trying not to panic, I rubbed his back to soothe him. What do I do? Call an ambulance?
No, this isn't a wound. It'll pass, I think.
Alan collapsed to the ground while trying to endure the pain. He gritted his teeth while beads of sweat dripped onto the sand below. After what seemed like a moment of torture, Alan's pain subsided. Alan, are you okay?
Yeah, seems like it's over.
Although still panting heavily, Alan let out a deep sigh of relief. However, when I looked at him, something seemed different. I had known that eye for hundreds of years, but its color was unfamiliar now. Is this because of your deal with Satan? Alan remained silent. He once explained that a pact with a demon didn't always involve souls. Sometimes it concerned eyes or organs. True, he did tell us that. Alan, did you exchange your eye for a pact with Satan? After a pause, Alan gave a slight nod.
Satan proposed the deal, saying it would grant me passage to the underworld to bring you back. The demon eyes are charged with energy, so Satan saw an opportunity to take one from a greater demon. He wouldn't have made that pact so quickly otherwise. He's always cunning.
Oh no. Can you get your eye back?
I've already paid the price. Its power now belongs to Satan, but don't worry. I can regain my strength soon enough.
While he was confident about reclaiming his powers, he made no mention of retrieving the eye itself. Oh, no.
Don't make that face. The price was worth what I received in return.
It's got to be the other eye, because that one looks exactly the same. It's still red.
I'm just relieved I got there before you entered the underworld's gate.
Alan spoke with genuine emotion as we hugged. He held my shoulders and wore a look of concern. Mike, I mean, stealing the eye because it has power, it's one thing. It's like, it's okay. It took some power from him and an eye, but, it's okay. It's not like he's got a gaping hole there where he has to wear an eye patch, apparently, and he lost some power, but don't worry, we'll give it back to him. Mm-hmm.
But I need to tell you something. What you did to protect me was reckless.
Reckless? I'm wondering, actually, does the eye under his hair look like it's blue or something? Like it's not a demon eye? Because, notice, in our demon form, our eyes are red and everything like that, but, and actually, even in his human form, his eyes are still, red and his hair purple, whatever. And when we've seen the CG of, us supposedly in heaven, he looks exactly like Sylvie. So it's you could have made him look a little Alan-esque, but it's really just us and Sylvie in heaven. So all the angels are pretty generic, except for us. But it looks like it's blue under his hair, so. Reckless?
You jumped in front of Cupid's arrow.
I'm sorry. I acted without thinking when I believed you were in danger.
Because of your bravery, I'm still here. But promise me you'll never do that again.
I'm truly sorry, Alan. This all happened because Sylvie invaded hell. Remembering Sylvie attacking the demons made me anxious. I mean, there is no wrap-up of that. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to explore that. Do you know where Sylvie went? What's the situation in hell now?
He was driven out, but now the demons are out of control. They're planning a massive invasion of Celestia.
They plan to invade?
Yeah, the demons are upset because the gods prevent them from consuming human souls. And due to the Cupid incident, even Satan's getting involved. He'll lead the invasion against Celestia. Right now we're powerless. I've lost an eye and my abilities. I can't guarantee your safety. So, let's run away.
Run away? But to where?
A place out of reach from both gods and demons. I know just the spot. Long ago, it's where Jupiter sought refuge from Kronos.
The Dictaean Cave? Or Dictaean Cave? Whatever, in Crete. Will protect us from both forces. Okay.
We can stay there until the conflict between Celestia and Hell subsides. Just the two of us.
So the spicy end is us hiding from the War of the Worlds. Okay. Alright. So Alan and I sought refuge in the cave beyond the reach of the gods. I later learned of the intense war between Celestia and Hell. Upon hearing this, Clarice and RB, who are familiar from the human realm, probably found their own hiding place. I only got to say probably, but at least we get an answer about Clarice and Robin here. You know what I mean? They kind of just left them to go fuck off in the good ending. The supposed best one. Again, stupid. You force kids on me, but you don't tell me what happened to Robin and Clarice? Come on. No other demons found our cave. They all wanted to go to war with Celestia. I hope everyone's okay.
Are you worried about everyone?
Yeah, Mom, Dad, Chi. I just hope everyone's safe. Alan and I huddled closer and looked up. Of course, there was no way we could see Celestia from our hideout. Since I was a former god, we didn't want to battle them as demons, but we couldn't restrain the demons either. Our priority was our own safety. All I wished for was Alan and I to survive. Having faced death, this became my sole focus. I really did die that time. Perhaps the solitude of the cave gave us room to reflect. Only now did I feel the weight of my vulnerability. Without Alan's intervention, I'd have been lost in the underworld forever. I thought I'd never be able to talk to Alan again. I rested my head on his shoulder and held his arm. Are you scared? No, I just want to be close to you. Spacey, I feel the same. I need your warmth. Our eyes met and we kissed for the first time in a while. I'm not moaning for them, but when I ended up in the underworld, I thought we'd never see each other again. But we did. In that moment, everything else faded and we cherished our kiss. When we kissed, I suddenly felt more conscious of my powers as a demon. Until now, I always received energy from Alan, but after he sacrificed his eye, his demonic powers had weakened. Now it was my turn to give. I put my arms around his neck, and our tongues danced together as I transferred some of my power to him. Alan caught his breath as he felt the energy flow into him. Spacey, what are you doing? I want to give back some of your powers, Alan. Give back? You lost a lot of your powers, right? So, Alan, come here. Spacey, I want you to take power from me. But what if I take too much from you? But you've been weakened, Alan. That's why I want to share. I reached out to kiss him again, noticing a tremor in his shoulders. I shared my demonic power through the intimate connection of a kiss, a means of nourishing him. He gave these powers to help me survive. Now I wanted to return the favor. More, Alan. Yeah, Spacey. Our murmurs echoed in the cave as I continued to channel my energy into him. I'm sorry. You always give me so much. But right now, I can't protect you. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. You're the one who's given so much for me, for more than a century. I can't read. I'll be fine. Now it's my turn to give. Please, take more. Yes, I'll take your powers. I ran my fingers through his hair as I continued to give him my power. There was no one here, so it didn't matter how I gave it to him. We lost ourselves in each other. Every touch, every taste, a shared moment of pleasure. We were in our own world, enjoying every moment. In this cave with no storm or wind, we couldn't tell if any gods or demons could be outside. No, we didn't care. We focused on each other so we didn't have to think about what was happening. All that could be heard were the sounds we made and the water droplets falling from the ceiling of the cave. It was an intense, raw, and primal experience that connected us on a level beyond mere existence. Years later, the war between the demons and gods had finally ended, leaving deep wounds on both sides. God, I don't want to know. Cheers! Woo! It's the demons' victory! Oh, wow. Well, that's fucked up. Long live the great Satan! We ventured back to Lost York and found demons celebrating openly. We reunited with Clarice, and the three of us were shocked to see so many demons in the human realm. Suzanne and the demons really pulled it off. What a shock. Yeah, actually... Gee! Not only were the demons present, but I also saw Chi burnt to a crisp. Oh! I don't like the spicy end. Isn't that Chi? Chi! What's going on here? I think Satan's taken his god status away. In other words, all the gods have fallen. Is that really going to be okay? I think so. It won't really affect the human realm, but there'll likely be more humans making pacts with demons. Chi! Chi! Chi looked mortified as I carried him. Hi, Chi. It's been a while. Chi! Chi! He wiggled his tiny legs to try and get away, but he soon realized he couldn't get away and went limp. He's also probably freaked out because we're demons, even though, we had nothing to do with it, but you know what I mean. Chi! 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 Hey, don't stress. You're still cute even if you look a bit burnt. I thought burnt to a crisp. I thought he was dead, and I was like, why is he cheating? Okay, he's not dead, so it's fine. Chi! Squeak! Chi! Squeak! Hey, why not make that charred divine beast your familiar? Hey, that might be a good idea. If you leave him like this, he could get eaten by demons. Chi! Chi overheard us and startled, he flew away. Wait, Chi! Oh, he's gone. I hope he finds a safe spot.
Mars and Venus could be somewhere nearby. I'm sure they'll take care of him.
I hope so. Poor Jupiter. Mom and Dad have also fallen. As a result, their skin became less fair. Mom even messaged me about it, but she didn't sound too upset. It's true that the human realm hasn't really changed. I expect there to be chaos now that there were no gods, but I was surprised by how little it changed. It was like humans had no need for the gods' interference. I'd always believed that. But even if the gods were no more, demons still existed. That couldn't be good for the human realm. Alan felt the same. This is an interesting twist. Months went by since the end of the war between Celestia and Hell. Alan had taken on the role of policing lesser demons in Lost York. Demons that caused harm to humans were kicked out. Alan protected the people. This is actually ridiculously hot. Like, he does have an eye patch. That's so funny. He's like fucking demon mafia boss. It's like demon leather daddy. What is this? What is happening here? I kind of love it. I love this so much. I'm not sure if he's like in some kind of demon mafia or if he's like the leader of a fucking band. Like, you know what I mean? The lead singer of a band right now. Like, I don't even know what's going on, but I'm here for it. And today I begged for more from him again. I'm not moaning, but... Spacey. During his patrols, I'd sit on his lap and we'd kiss. His kiss had a bittersweet taste. It was the taste of a demonic smoking pipe that produced a particular scent. The scent caused demons to flee. When they caught whiff of it, they knew that Alan, the greater demon, was near. We relocated our home back to the human realm to assume our new role as protectors. As expected, Satan was devouring humans left and right. Other demons simply followed suit. There were no more gods to stop them. Only Alan stepped up to try and suppress those demons.
And did you just share your powers with me?
Was I not supposed to? I grinned, teasing him a little. He needed power to manage the demons, so I helped him out.
You're such a tease.
I kissed him again, wrapping my arms around him. We continued to give and receive in this peaceful coexistence. It seemed like the right way for a demon couple to live, except we protected humans as well. Alan, an incubus, delivered good dreams to humans. I wondered if he could truly be called a demon. It would be odd to call him a god. No, I'm sure we could ascend to that someday. The humans would be none the wiser.
I need to start my patrol now.
Can I come?
You want to?
Yeah, I want to be with you, Alan.
All right, then let's go together.
Alan's good eye glimmered as he scanned for nearby demons. By devouring lesser demons who tried to eat humans, we grew stronger. We didn't belong to any faction, but still found happiness with each other and our loved ones. Hand in hand, we spread our wings. Together, we protected Lost York and its residents. One day, we might obtain peace. You know, I don't hate that ending. I might like that one. I mean, it feels bad that they destroyed all the gods, but they just fell. They're not really dead. So, like, okay, cool. And I think I like that better than the sweet and spicy end where we're forced kids. But I will admit, like, that one's technically, like, a happier ending. Even though I don't like kids, it's still a happier ending. Oh, great. Now we have to do the spicy, bitter end. Okay, and we say I wanted to explore the world. Alan, let's go see the world. Alan looked puzzled by my suggestion. I smiled to reassure him. Now that we're demons, we can experience things only immortals can. I wanted to see the world more. There were so many places in this world. I wondered if a single lifetime was enough to visit them all.
You always make me see things differently. It's why I can't imagine life without you.
With that, we set out on our journey. Towns rose and fell as we traveled. Sceneries changed time and again. We traveled everywhere, experiencing a new life every time. It's funny, that one didn't give you like a sweet end. You know what I mean? Like sweet choice. Sweet, bitter, darling. Like putting sugar in coffee. Alan and I descended upon a Japanese town called Asakushi. Wow, I didn't know Japan was like this. It's completely different from Lost York. You think in all the time, the hundreds of years you've been around, you would have come here once.
Yeah, it's changed so much since my last visit.
Oh, you been to Japan before, Alan?
I have. When I was traveling around the world to do some research, I happened to make a stop here.
Wasn't that... Alan hadn't specified, but I suspected that the visit he was referring to was when he was trying to prevent me from being erased. We'd spent about 400 years apart, so the landscape of Japan must have been completely different back then. I doubted he had been in the right mindset to appreciate the sights at that time, so I walked arm in arm with him now, hoping that he could truly savor the experience this time. Do you understand Japanese?
Yeah, I've mastered the language. I'm Professor Melville, remember?
That's right. I remembered how we taught linguistics to middle schoolers when we lived in Washington. Alan had worked as a teacher, a bartender, a souvenir shop owner. We'd adopted countless roles over the course of our lives as demons. I wonder what roles we would take here in Japan. Tourist. Maybe sushi chef, like in that movie. What do they say when customers enter again?
What are you thinking about?
Alan smiled as he looked at me. That smile always made me so happy. Nothing. I was just imagining what you'd look like as a sushi chef.
Sushi chef?
You know, remember that movie we watched? I thought you'd look good in that outfit.
Sounds good to me. But I hear the training is pretty tough.
Is it?
Yeah, but if you'd like that, I'll consider it. It might be fun to try something new.
Ever since we decided to travel the world together, Alan embraced everything with a positive attitude. It seemed he had chosen to release his worries and live life simply. We clung to our human lifestyle while also embracing our identities as demons. With that in mind, we enjoyed every moment. I want to try working at a Japanese marriage agency. I'm curious about the romantic culture here.
It sounds fun. Let's try a bunch of things.
Yeah. Oh, Alan, look! They have bubble tea here.
Oh, you're right. Bubble tea in Japan, huh? Shall we try some?
Yes! Typically, an incubus had no reason to eat human food. Alan only ate food when he joined others for a meal. This demon only fed on my dreams. However, if there was one human treat he was fond of, it was bubble tea. After we purchased one, we took a sip and savored the nostalgic taste. We often had bubble tea in Lost York. While taking another sip, I realized it's been years since we were there last. It's delicious.
It's good. It's the best way to drink the sour black tapioca.
Oh. Alan referred to the sweet and chewy tapioca pearls as sour. He always used that term. Something about that made me so happy, and I couldn't keep my eyes off him. I snapped a photo of Alan sipping his bubble tea with my smartphone. He looked puzzled by the shutter sound. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to capture that moment. Though we spent every day together, I wanted to take a snapshot of every single one of his expressions. Perhaps I was a bit obsessive. That's fine. Alan and I were always greedy. We wanted to cherish every fleeting moment of our lives.
I get it. I feel the same.
He unlocked his phone to reveal a photo of us from when we made our wedding cake. It was his wallpaper. That sure brings back memories. We enjoyed these sweet days, stickly sweet like a wedding cake topped with whipped cream. And now we were drinking this sour bubble tea that was actually sweet.
In Japan, they call bubble tea tapioca. Did you know?
Really? Isn't tapioca just the squishy balls?
Yeah, but in this country, they just call it tapioca or tapioca milk tea. And there might have been a time when they used slang like, let's get some tappy.
Oh, really? Alan was so knowledgeable about many things. He was a professor, after all. I'm surprised how much he knows about Japanese culture. He sure loves his bubble tea. Then, well, in Japan, we should call it tapioca, not bubble tea.
I think it's fine to keep calling it bubble tea. Just between us, though.
Even if our perceptions of the world were different, it was fine. All that mattered was that we understood each other. A new country, a new culture, and a new chapter in our lives. I was filled with excitement, wondering how it would look this time. There were lots of others who traveled the world like we did. We explored all of Japan. We took overnight buses and simply enjoyed our life there. Years later, we left Japan. It was like adding sugar to our coffee for a new taste. And then we went to France. Wow, it's so different from Japan. The country of romance. Ever since I heard about that, I'd always wanted to visit this country. As we descended upon France, we noticed how different it was compared to Japan, Lost York, Washington, and Baltimore. Every place was a new adventure, but strolling through France was special. Suddenly, Alan laughed beside me.
You're always so curious. You're still the same no matter how many years pass.
Really?
Yeah, you haven't changed one bit. And then again, I haven't either.
Wow. Alan smiled and hugged me openly. As they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. In France, the country of romance, he probably felt compelled to express his love for me in public. Alan's ability to adapt quickly was something he had learned over our many years of travels. We wanted to enjoy everything proactively and experience life like the locals. That was the feeling I got. I suddenly spotted something out of the corner of my eye. It was a cute red bicycle, and it appeared they were available to rent. Look, Alan, the rental bike is so cute.
Hey, you're right. They're more accessible now. Want to ride one? It's been a while.
The last time I rode a rental bike was in Lost York. I felt nostalgic, so I smiled and nodded. Yeah. Okay, cute. Our little bike. I was hoping we were going to get our CG, like, on the bikes, just because we don't need to, like, I'm not really sure why this is a sweet bitter end. I'm not 100% in my brain. I'm not 100% sure this end was even necessary. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting being like, we're just going to travel the world instead of settling down and living our lives as demons. Like, okay, sure. So, like, at the same time, me being like, was this necessary? I still like it. Like, okay, it's interesting to see, but, like, I can't stop that internal battle of, like, no, it's kind of interesting to see if they didn't decide to just go be demons and they just wanted to stay living in the humor realm, bouncing around, like, how they're going to travel and stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, but I don't know if it was necessary. Like, they're two completely juxtaposed thoughts, but they're just having an epic battle in my brain, like, I don't know. I mounted the bike and stepped on the pedals. I could feel the warm sun and gentle breeze blow through my hair. Wow! It had been a while since I'd ridden a bike. The pedals felt light and it moved more efficiently than I remembered. Maybe it's just the way they're doing it. Like if they just, we went here and did this and we went here and did that. And they just kind of like explained it and made it a little shorter. It like be like, oh, okay, cool. But it's like, I feel like maybe for what it should be, they're making it a little bland. It feels a little bland. Maybe that's it. And that's why I feel like it's unnecessary. Even though like, I also like seeing that they're traveling around and doing things. But I wish they just kind of condensed it a little more. And like, hey, we went to France and we rode bikes and experienced French culture. And, you know, Alan did this, that, and the other thing. And then like, you know, when we were in Japan, we did this. But you know what I mean? Like, but they're making it, instead of doing it that where they kind of like explain it in a fast-paced way and kind of just wrap it up a little quicker, they're kind of like, let's just throw in some filler shit. And you're like, okay. And I'm not sure how it's also sweet and bitter. You know? I think the sweet end felt more bitter than this one. So I really question the person that wrote this route. And I question your choices on labeling the endings. You know? It had been a while since I'd ridden a bike. I already read that. It seemed the bicycles had evolved over the past century. That's interesting. That's interesting. Because you just think, like, bike technology gets to a certain point. And, okay, no, we'll keep going. All right, yeah, all right. This feels great.
Yeah, it sure does. I'm glad we didn't forget how to ride a bike. Would have been a waste.
Yeah, but I might be out of practice. I better be careful not to fall over.
You'll be fine. You can do anything.
Alan stated those words of trust to me with a gentle smile. That smile looked so bright, it warmed my heart. It was like a touch of spring air. He looked so worried in the past. He'd always been wary and tried to protect me, shouldering all the burdens alone. But now Alan seemed at ease. He was pedaling effortlessly and enjoying the moment without a care in the world. Look, you can see the Eiffel Tower from here.
All right, let's take a look.
Sure. Those rental bikes took us anywhere we wanted. Sometimes we'd stop and take a break. We'd stop by a cute cafe, kiss for a moment, and then hop back on our bikes to continue our journey through France. This is so fun, Alan. Where do you want to go next?
With you, anywhere.
A red bicycle zipped through the streets. We felt so light, it was almost as if we had wings, soaring through France like the angels we once were. Work and play, we tried out so many different things over and over in so many new places. We had all the time in the world to enjoy everything. Thanks to that, Alan's sorrow had been lifted. Where would we go next? What would we do next? Even the time we spent discussing our next trip had become cherished memories for us. We'd continue to travel the world and live on for eternity. We found joy in this lifestyle, so we would always be happy. I didn't think we'd ever get tired of living this way. We felt no boredom or loneliness, just endless discovery. Our beliefs would shape the world around us. We believed in eternal happiness, so Alan and I would simply choose to continue living that way. This is another one where they have like 42 sentences that are all like, okay, we could, and nobody keeps going. And then they're, okay, no, okay, this is, no, okay. Just wrap it up already. You don't need to have every single person on the board pick an end sentence and then you put them all together. Okay, that was the end. Good. I say that right. When you see you bitch and you get it. I don't understand how this was bitter. I feel like the actual sweet end was way more bitter than this one. This one was just like, okay. I do feel like it was kind of pointless. But also not. I think it was just because they kind of dragged it on and made it. I feel like they made it a little boring. They made it a little more boring than it should have been. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been better. But I also feel like in the scheme of things, like, oh, we're traveling and this sadness has been lifted. Yeah, that seems better and more of a sweet ending than the sweet ending. The sweet ending had a bitterness to it. It was very bittersweet, right? So I really think they should have flipped the titles of those. This one they could have been done a little bit better at writing it and made it a little less like, oh, what's going on here? Like, they made it kind of boring, even though it should have been interesting to just see, we went here and we did this and we went here and we did this, you know? So they could have done it a little bit better, but it was better as a sweet ending, and the sweet ending was bittersweet. So that one, they should never have categorized that one as the sweet and this one as the sweet bitter. I want to pass through the gate. Let's just end it all. I didn't think I was this weak, but if I pass through, I can finally be free. Temptation almost won, pulling me toward despair. I'd planned to find Lord Pluto no matter how long it took. I had a clear goal, but no path to reach it. There seemed to be an insurmountable rift between these 2 points. The futility of it all was sapping away at my soul. Somebody, please help me. I fought back tears, resisting the urge to go through the gate. I knew I had to continue to walk. Okay, so go through the gate like it doesn't... It's not like in, was it Maronese? Which one was, where it was like, you're like, no, I'm gonna do, no, and then that's how you get the bad ending? Like, this one is like, I'm gonna go through the gate, and then it's like, nope, forget it. You don't get to go through. Bad, darling. I won't forget that kind dream. Oh, and he's not even on it. Shut up! I knew that Alan was in pain. I could tell that he was hearing voices. No matter how much I tried to call out to him, he couldn't hear me. Jack-o'-lantern wasn't there to facilitate our conversation, after all. Alan, it's all right. I'm right here. She's here. She must be here. All of you, shut up. Yes, it's all right. Let's go back to the surface together. They can't be. Even if I can't see her, that was certainly her voice. The higher we climbed, the more anxious his voice became. He's going to turn around, isn't he? Unable to see or hear me, he was tortured by the voices of the trial the entire time. Please, just say a single word. Let me hear your voice. Alan. I reached out to try and calm him, but my hands couldn't touch him. My dear Alan was in pain, close to tears, but I had no way of reaching him. I would rush past him up the stairs and call to him from the entrance. Alan! Keep walking forward! Don't look back! I'm up here! We continued climbing that long, long stairway. The surface is so far away. Our surroundings weren't changing, so I worried we'd never reach the surface. It felt like we were climbing the stairs endlessly. How many days had we been here? With each ascending step, I almost tripped and fell. I forced my faltering legs to continue. Oh my god, okay, can we, not have to read the same thing 14 times? 1,000 steps, she stopped counting. The clown felt forever, because they can't talk to each other. Anything with a beginning has an end. Light up ahead, it's the surface. Okay, cool. Here we go. It's the surface! Alan ran toward the light. The moment he passed the gate, I heard a voice that wasn't mine. Thank goodness, I managed to get out too. The voice whispered, but that wasn't my voice. Thank goodness, we are finally back. Alan responded to the voice that wasn't mine and turned around. No, Alan! When he realized that voice was the final trial, it was already too late. Uh-oh. Only a few more steps remained, but they crumbled before me because he thought she was out, so I had to get out, and she was. Okay. Ouch. Spacey! The voices deceived him in the end. He turned around right as he stepped onto the surface. I was still on the stairway. But it was too late, and all the other ones she ran past him. His outstretched hand couldn't reach me. In ancient times, a story was often told. In that story, Orpheus tried to bring Eurydice back from the underworld by playing beautiful music on his lyre. But in the end, he still lost her because he turned around. Perhaps the price he paid wasn't enough. Believing the music of a lyre could resurrect the dead was overly optimistic. No! Spacey! Alan extended his hand toward me, but I couldn't grasp it. The ground beneath me gave way, swallowing me whole. The boundaries separating the dead from the living tore us apart forever. Now this is a bad ending. He remained in the light while I continued to fall. But I will wait. I won't pass through the underworld's gates, and I will keep waiting. Even if it takes centuries or a millennia, I'll wait. So please, don't cry. I'll never forget you. Please, don't be sad. I believe we'll meet again. Someday. Someday. Love is over. Fuck. That was definitely a bad end. Takes forever to fade to black on that one. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, you know what's interesting? That's the sweet end, the spicy end. But where's our bad ending and stuff like that? Because, like, well, not the bad ending, but, like, okay, that one we've seen. Oh, okay, this one for some reason is up here? That's weird. Okay, because I was like, we got several, so it was this one. Riding the bikes was from our quote-unquote bitter end, which I just don't think is very bitter. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's cute. God, that's still my favorite. And then, like, this one's adorable, but this one was the bitter end to me. Because it's sweet, but there's a bitterness to it where you're like, oh, but it's kind of painful because, you know, even if he stays in love with her until he dies, then he's going to get reincarnated and then she's going to find him and protect him and it's going to be this cycle forever. And there's a beauty to it, but there's a bittersweet pain to it where you're like, uh-huh. And them running around, cycling through their life. And I feel like the person who decided to call the bitter end bitter is because, it's because they're just living their lives out there having fun and they don't have babies because we saw how much they harped on that their lives weren't complete without children. And it's like, you know, that makes me bitter. That you're like, I think that's the only way I can think of why you thought this was just more sweet than that end. That end is more sweet because it's like, oh, it's just sweet. Like, we're just out hanging out. Like, the way they wrote it wasn't the best. I think it could have been written better. But overall, it was more of a sweet end than this. This is still sweet, don't get me wrong. But it's the bitterness in it. They should have just been switched. But the spicy end was pretty fun. You're like, okay, all right. You know, and the bad end was awful and sad. But I like the spicy end. I feel bad that, like, poor Chi goes running off and we don't know what happened to the other gods, but they ain't dead, so whatever. And to be fair, it beats being forced to have kids. Although, for the scheme of things, like, I do see why that's the happy, because that's what they really wanted, and then they got everything, all their dreams, and, like, everything is perfect, and, like, whatever. Like, okay, fine. Fine. But for me personally, I like the adventuring off and whatever, even though I feel like whoever wrote this really was just like, no, kids are the end-all be-all. It's the only thing that makes you happy type of a thing. Because, I mean, they kind of wrote the characters that way, but to label, like, the ending where they're going off just on adventures and going around the world as bitter, like, makes me feel like, well, you're just saying that because, like, Alan, like, oh no, he's happy. Like, he let go of the sadness of not having children because, like, obviously they both kind of wanted that in the beginning. And then they realized, like, okay, hey, you know what? This is a good life. Just because they changed and maybe they decided that they're living a good life and they're happy with it doesn't make it bitter. So I feel like you're more bitter than I am if you're going to write and say that, like, if he was still sad and still feeling a little melancholy because it's not how he wanted their lives to be, sure. But they even wrote it in the end that, like, you know, Alan actually seemed happiness. The sadness in his eyes was gone. So it's like, you can, like, want kids and want that to be part of your life, and then you can't have kids or it just doesn't work out. And all of a sudden go, yeah, you know what, it didn't work out and that sucks. But, like, hey, I'm still at peace and I still was really happy with my life in the end. That doesn't make it bitter. That doesn't mean, like, oh, your life was bittersweet. No. It means you came to terms with something and ended up happy in the end. It's kind of like people who maybe didn't want kids, got pregnant, and then realized, you know what, actually, this is really cool. I enjoy having kids. Maybe you didn't want kids, it happened, and so we should look at that and be like, oh, you poor thing. No, because you're happy with your life. That's the important thing. At the end of the day, are you happy with your life? So calling it bitter because why? Why? You know what I mean? I feel like the only reason you're calling it bitter is because in the very beginning, you kept harping on how much, you know, you kept trying to instill that having children was the only option here, that they had to have it or they weren't going to be complete. And they came to term, they just are totally happy with their lives without kids. You specifically wrote that in there. I mean, not, you know, but specifically wrote, like, the sadness in Alan's eyes was gone. So obviously, he got over it and was like, hey, this is cool. We don't have kids, but whatevs. I'm happy with my life, and you call that bitter. And that is kind of fucked up. So, like, I seriously question the person who designed and wrote Alan's thing. So, overall, not a huge fan, to be fair. I liked some of the other elements, and I do like Alan, but I do think that they kind of just, yeah, you know, I'm just really not sure. You should have given it to somebody else to write. You know what? Give it to Tim and Ronald to write, because I think they would have made a lot of typos, and they would have fucked up a lot. Never once in here did Alan call me Lynette instead of Spacey, so bravo for that. But, you know. But anyway, you know, whatever. I think there were a lot of, I don't want to say issues or problems in Alan's route, because there really weren't. It was just questionable things, like why they labeled those endings that way, why they thought that was that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, is it me? Am I reading into it too much? Maybe, but whatever. I don't know. This ending was pretty fucking good, though. Like, this kind of fit more into the, like, balls to the walls, batshit insane shit that happens in the game, and I kind of appreciate it. But anyway, we'll do his after stories next, so I will see you guys. Hold on, so the screen doesn't go right next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.